Hello, Accelerated Math 7-8 students. We are starting our new module, Module 14, and it is working with expressions and equations. And our first lesson is called Writing Equations Using Symbols. Writing Equations Using Symbols. So let's take a look at this. Okay. Writing equations using symbols. Zoom in a little bit so you guys can see it. Okay, the goal for today. Today we will practice writing mathematical statements using symbols. Question I want you to be thinking about during this lesson is, what is the difference between an expression and an equation? Things to know. Writing with symbols is simpler than writing in words, as long as everybody writing them is clear about what a symbol means. That needs to say them. Sorry, that's a typo by me. Okay. Writing with symbols is simpler than writing in words as long as everyone writing them is clear about what the symbols mean. Developing equations from written statements is an important skill for problem solving and is one of the most vital parts of algebra. Okay. Common vocabulary makes writing equations possible. These words include sum, difference, subtracted from, increased by, doubled, compared to, product, and quotient. Those are just some of the common vocabulary words. You need to be clear what all of those words mean when they are written in word form, because if you're not, then writing a sentence that is completely in words into symbols is going to be very difficult for you because you don't know what they mean. So something that we need to be able to do is convert from English words into math symbols. So let's try it. It says, read the sentences below and write an equation for each. Remembering that an equation has an equal sign, an expression does not. And both of them, so an equation is built up of expressions being equal or the same as each other, and an expression is a value that represents a number. Okay, so a whole number has the property that when the square of half the number is subtracted from 5 times the number, we get the number itself. Wow, that is crazy, okay? But that's what you're expected in the 8th grade level, to be able to translate from words into a number sentence. So let's look at it again. A whole number has the property that when the square of half the number, so we have a number cut in half, so it would look like that, right? Half of the number divided by 2 is when you cut it in half. When the square of half the number, okay, is subtracted from 5 times the number, we get the number itself. Okay, so 5 subtracted from, so we need a number here, then we're going to subtract a number cut in half, squared, okay, such that when the square of half the number is subtracted from 5 times the number, we get the number itself, equals x. Holy moly, can you see that? Okay, let's try it again. Okay, I'm going to read it one more time. A whole number has a property that when the square of half the number, half of a number, so here's a number, we don't know what it is, cut it in half means divide by 2, then we have to take the square of that, and then all of that is subtracted from 5 times the number we don't know, and it gives you an answer of the number itself. So this is what we're doing. So go back up to our title again, writing equations using symbols. So we're taking word language and turning it into math equations, because it says read the sentence below and write an equation for each. So this is an equation because it has an equal sign. Wow, that's pretty tricky. Okay, let's try the next one. Okay, the next one says the sum of 4 consecutive even integers is negative 28. The sum of 4 consecutive even integers is 28. So we know there has to be 4 numbers added together because the sum means we're being added. So we're adding four numbers together, and we get negative 28. Negative 28. Okay. So it says the sum of four consecutive even numbers. So if you did, let's pretend for a minute that the number was 2, because that's an even number, right? So if the number is 2, it says the sum of four consecutive. Consecutive means that it's coming right after each other. Even means you're counting like by 2, 4, 6, 8, is negative 28. So maybe if we knew it was that, then we would say, if we knew it was negative 2, then we could say negative 2 plus negative 4 plus negative 6 plus negative 8, so that's 14 plus 4 is 22 plus 2 is 24, so it can't be negative 2. But we're not looking for the exact value. We're just trying to remember what an even number that would look like. So I would say the sum of four consecutive even integers is negative 28. So we would know that we would have to have a negative x plus a negative x plus 2, because that's the next one, right? Negative x plus 2 again, right? Plus a negative x plus 2 again. I think that would be okay, because we know that this is the first one. So let's look at it like this. If this one was negative 2, then that next number would have to be negative 4. And then the next number would have to be negative 6. And then the next number would have to be negative 8. So we just have to make sure that we're showing this. So I don't think that's right, because if you have negative 2 here, but then you have negative 2 plus 2, that's still only negative 4. So this one actually has to be plus 4, right? And then this one has to be plus 6, right? Because again, you're saying that this one would be this. In order to get this, then you would have to add a negative, or you would have to add a negative 4. Ooh, that's even trickier. So we have negative x plus a negative x. Hold on, let me do it down here. A negative x plus a negative x plus a negative 2. Yeah, okay. Then this one would have to be a negative x plus a negative 4. And then this one would have to be a negative x, because remember, negative x is always the same, plus a negative 6. Yeah, so I think that's what it would be, and then it all equals negative 28. And the reason why they have to be negatives is because 28 is negative, and you're adding. So here's 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. The sum of four consecutive even integers is 28. I wonder what that is. Let's try it. Let's see if we can do the math and get it to work. So we have, count the negative x's, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 negative x plus negative 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, plus a negative 12. All of that equals negative 28. Okay, so in order to make this a zero pair, we have to add 12, right? So we're adding 12 to both sides, right? So that would be 6, and that would be 1, and that's negative, equals. And then we have negative 4x. So now we're going to divide this side by negative 4x, this side by negative 4x. So x would have to equal, a negative divided by a negative is a positive, 16 divided by 4 is 4. Okay, so now let's try it. Gosh, this is crazy. Okay, so we know that x is 4. So we have negative 4 plus a negative x would be negative 4 plus 2 negatives would be negative 6, okay, plus a negative 4 plus a negative 4 is a negative 8, plus a negative 4 plus negative 6 is negative 10. Okay, let's see if it works now. Ready? So 8 negatives and 10 negatives gives you 18 negatives, plus 6 gives you 24 negatives, and then plus 4 more negatives gives you negative 28. So we found it. Awesome. Okay, so this is correct down here. They didn't ask you to solve it. They just asked you to write an equation, yeah? Okay, do you see how complicated these are? This is 8th grade, kiddos. I think you're starting to get the idea of how difficult this can actually be. Okay, so now let's look at the next one. A number is 4 times larger than the square of half the number. That one's very similar to the first one. Okay, a number is 4 times larger, 4 times larger. So that means it's multiplication, right? 4 times larger than the square of half the number. So again, we're doing that half the number stuff. So we have to take a number, cut it in half, square it. A number is 4 times larger than the square. So then that means that we have to go all of this times 4 equals x. That is so crazy. So crazy, okay? This is what you guys are getting into. We did a little bit of this in 6th grade, and then we played a little bit with it in 7th grade, and now you can see it's just getting harder and harder and harder. So I'm going to leave these last 3 for you to try by yourself, and then we'll talk about them in class. Stephen has some money. If he spends $9, then he will have 1 or 3/5 of the amount he started with. That's one of them. The sum of a number squared and 3 less than twice the number is 129. So you need to do that one. And then the last one, Miriam read a book with unknown number of pages. The first week she read 5 less than 1/3 of the pages. The second week she read 171 more pages, and then finished the book. Write an equation to represent the total number of pages in the book. Ooh, that one's tricky too. So those 3 are your challenges to get done. Okay, and just needing to remind you, when I ask you to do them, you actually have to try, because when you don't, it marks you down on your participation grade. Just saying. All right, so let's go back up to the top and look at our goal one more time. Today we will practice writing mathematical statements using symbols, which we were doing. The question is, what is the difference between an expression and an equation? I think you guys are very, very familiar with that by now. An expression doesn't have an equal sign, an equation does. Okay, so make sure that you get those last 3 challenge ones tried. I'm looking for equations when you're finished. And that's all I've got. Thanks. Bye.